Hello everybody, this is Vice speaking and welcome to Dragon Quest II Luminaries of the Legendary Line. As you all know, may or may not know, we just finished the original Dragon Quest on this channel. Um, if you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out. It's not like a direct prequel, but these first three games are a trilogy and they all are very tightly connected to each other. So, um, with all that said, I told you we're moving right along. We're gonna jump right into this thing. Luminaries of the Legendary Line. Let's venture forth. As always, we create our new save log. You already know of what name I'm choosing. There we go. Message speed, you already know we're on the fastest, and those are good. Now, one big difference from Dragon Quest 1 to 2, very extensive cutscenes, as we will soon see. Having done so, he set off on a journey with a beautiful young maiden, and together they founded new kingdoms across the world. Each of these kingdoms came to be ruled by the children of the hero and his beautiful bride, and by their children after them. 100 years passed. This is the royal castle of the Kingdom of Moonbrook. It lies far to the south of another great kingdom, Middenhall. The king and his daughter, the young princess, were conversing peacefully in the courtyard. But not for long. Oh, wherefore quaketh the castle so? What is the meaning of this? Guards, somebody! Majesty, I bring grave tidings. The minions of foul Hargon do ring the palace all around. What sayest thou? Hargon dareth lay siege to me in mine own home? Alas, it seemeth so, Majesty. Curse thee, Hargon. Then we have but little choice. Muster the castle guard. With all haste, Majesty. Oh boy. Daughter, make haste, and conceal thyself. No matter what may befall me, do not grieve. All resteth now upon thy shoulders. But father! Do not tarry, child. Time is against us. I must send word to Middenhall of Hargon's coming. Already? They do encroach upon mine inner sanctum. Begone, foul fiend! Oh, let's go. He can defend himself. Beasts, invaders, desecrators, taste my wrath. He is not messing around. Oh, he got outnumbered. That's not looking good. Father! She had to watch all of that too. Hey, that's kind of tragic. Dang, place is up in flames. Look at all these gargoyles. Dang, man. Middenhall must know of the tragedy that hath befallen us. Oh. Dang, man. My guy's beaten and battered, bruised. At least he made it. I can respect that. Sounds! His wounds are great and his wounds are grave indeed. What misfortune hath befallen thee, friend? My wounds matter not. I seek an audience with the king. I bear grave tidings. Very well, we shall bring thee before him. Guardsmen, uphold his other arm, and bear him quietly. 'Twould not do to set the castle astir. Yeah, you don't want the whole place, people freaking out. I mean, but those shopkeepers had to have seen him. I mean, he sort of crawled right past him. But we'll ignore that for now. Yeah, we don't want to nitpick, Majesty, Moonbrook is no more. The castle lieth in ruins, razed by the minions of of the self-styled High Priest Hargon. And ere long, should his plans succeed, will he summon forth a dark god of great power and lay to waste our entire world. Sire, I beg of you, he must be stopped. Well, Vice, my son, thou hast heard this brave soldier's report. Though thy veins courseth the blood of Erdrick, through thy veins courseth the blood of Erdrick, legendary hero of this land. Now shalt thy birthright be tested. There is not time to mourn. If thou wouldst journey to right this wrong, thou must needs follow me forthwith. Bury him deep within the earth's embrace, that he might find in the next world the peace that did elude him in this. Yes, Majesty. Wow. And we have control just like that. Prince Vice, verily, it paineth me greatly to see thee go. But I am a selfish old fool. How can I cry when thou questeth for the sake of all mankind? Oh, yeah, man, that's my boy right there. The soldier has sadly breathed his last. Dang. Well, I'm glad he got here in time, man. We pray fervently for your safety on the road, Prince Vice. May the goddess watch over you. Guys, how's my voice acting? Is it bad? Is it alright? Vice, throw open the chest before thee, and claim that which I have made ready, that thou mightest meet thy quest prepared. In Cannock and Moonbrook wilt thou find others through whose veins flow the blood of mighty Erdrick. Thou shalt know them by their names, bold Prince Caradoc, and their fair princess, yes, of course, Fleurette. These were their names, were they not, my son? So I've read online that the names depend on the name that you give yourself. I don't know how many options there are. I'm just gonna say yes, just for the, you know, I can't think of any names that I would give them. So go unto them, join forces, and together deliver our realm from the great evil which loometh over it. I didn't mean to do that, okay. What luck, a copper sword and 50 gold coins. Vice gratefully pockets the lot. We'll be seeing that a lot. Go forth, Vice, fruit of my loins. Okay. First things first, do not forget to equip your copper sword. Like I once did, you will be struggling to kill even the weakest of enemies. And yes, that includes slimes. Alright. Guys, we made it. This is Dragon Quest II. I'm very excited for this one. This game is much larger than the original. We're going to want to start every single time we enter a new area. We want to talk to everybody we see. We're going to want to learn as much as possible. So, and this time, I'm not going off of any, guides. I'm going on a loose. You'll see. May your journey be a safe one, Prince Vice. Be sure to equip weapons and armor, should you come across such items. Merely to carry them will avail you not. Yeah, just as I was saying, it's an easy mistake to make, believe it or not. Oh, your highness, thou shalt soon venture forth upon a perilous quest, I hear. Oh, how lonely I shall be without thee. Ah, pardon me, your grace, I had not meant to utter such thoughts aloud. Full well do I know that one so great would not look twice at one so lonely as me. It said lowly, I said lonely. It happens. Oh, okay. These are locked doors. We will be getting keys for these eventually. For now, don't worry about them. This is a portal. It takes you to a different place. Don't walk through it. You won't be able to go anywhere. A teleportal may transport a man to a place many hundreds of leagues distant in the blink of an eye. The teleportal before thee leadeth to an isle in the midst of a faraway ocean. Far away, what the heck? Faraway ocean. In Cannock dwelleth a fine young prince, and in Moonbrook a pretty princess. Should ever your paths chance to cross, I am certain that it would be a most momentous meeting of like minds, Prince Vice. Okay, alright. I have a feeling we'll get along with these people just fine. West of here lieth the peaceful hamlet of Leftwine. 'Tis a stopping place, all visited by wanderers on their way to Cannock. Alright, good to know. So we might want to stop by there ourselves. Not entirely sure yet. Oh, that's a locked door. Alright, man. What do you say? Middenhall welcome thee, friend. So, just in case you didn't know, this is the Castle of Middenhall. But wait, it is you, Prince Weiss. Highness, the demise of Moonbrook hath passed almost entirely unnoticed. The world beyond these gates is a cruel one indeed. Pray take care, lest an unwary step prove your undoing. Wise words. That's a fair warning. Now let's see, 50 gold. With the gold that you just got out of that chest, I recommend buying some medicinal herbs. You don't have enough for a leather shield, and you're probably gonna want to start by grinding anyways. So I think I got 3. Oh, what? I hit B by accident. Yes. Nope. This is the inn. I guess I have to do all these different introductions all over again because it's a new playthrough. We might have some new people watching. So an inn, basically this guy will charge you very low gold usually, not a lot. And you can rest here and it will restore all of your health and magic power, or MP. We got a dog here. Arf. Woof woof. I have a secret. I might save it till the very end of the playthrough, but it has to do with dogs. I'll just say that. And here we are. We've made it to the Overworld. So if you recall, if you can think back to our Dragon Quest I playthrough, you may remember that we started off with some grinding. Now, to nobody's surprise, we're gonna do the same old routine, alright? This time I will be shooting for maybe level 4, maybe level 5, but it'll probably be 4, so I'm gonna start that now. Of course, for every new enemy that I see, I'll probably give a introduction to the best of my abilities. Of course, it won't be as thorough as, as quote-unquote thorough, as the first Dragon Quest because there are so many more enemies in this game. But first things first, this is a slime. It's sort of a trademark of the Dragon Quest series. They appear in, I believe, every single game. They're usually the weakest enemies you can find. They're sort of your starter. You know, they're designed to sort of ease you into the battling mechanics. And speaking of mechanics, you will see on our menu, we have the option to attack, which you saw me do in the last battle. We can run away or flee. It has a chance to work and it has a chance to fail. So if you're gonna run away, you just keep that in mind. It does not always work. You can defend, and what defending does is it makes incoming attacks do a lot less damage. Now, because that's a slime, you could argue that it would have just done 2 anyways, but it can be very useful, especially in the future, which we will see. And then we have an items menu. We can use any items in our inventory. It'll take up our turn, but sometimes that can be very useful. So that's the basics, the very basics of battling. Now, after battles, you will gain experience. As you can see, I earned 1 from this slime, and 2 gold coins. You will also earn gold. So all around battling, you don't want to flee from every battle just because you're bored or something. No, it usually is really good to get into as many altercations as you can. So one of the biggest differences, in fact, with this game and Dragon Quest I is you can encounter multiple enemies. So, in Dragon Quest I, it was always a 1v1. There was never even any thought of multiple enemies. In this game, you will almost always encounter more than one enemy, and there is a good reason for that, which will actually be introduced to us very soon. Not too far from the beginning of this game, so stay tuned. Alright. We should be leveling up soon to level 2, I think. Not that one, maybe the next battle. So what you just saw there is a critical hit. Um, if I'm being completely honest, I'm not entirely sure if it's the same as Dragon Quest 1 in that it is a 1 in 64 chance. Um, that would be my guess. I'm just assuming that it's the same as the last game. So, um, basically a crit is just a way more powerful attack than what you would regularly do. And as you can see right here, Vice reaches level 2. So after you gain a certain amount of experience, your character will level up. And once you do, you will see increases to your strength, agility, resilience, your maximum HP, as well as your maximum MP. We'll get into that last one. As you can see, it's still at 0. There is a reason for that, as I keep repeating. Um, it'll all come to, you will come to understand it in due time. Oh, also, there might be a change of plans. I might just go up to level 3. You don't really need to go all the way up to level 5. It's just a bit excessive, if we're being honest. And as we travel, we'll get into more than enough battles to just sit there doing nothing. So, in the meantime, listen to this battle theme, because in my opinion, it's a lot better than the one in Dragon Quest 1. So I will stop talking for a second and let you listen. So as you can see, it's not the longest loop, but I just like it because in Dragon Quest 1, it was the theme was a bit jarring. In this game, it's a bit more, musically fluent. So this is our world map. That little quill feather pen looking thing will always show you where you are. I believe the orange squares are towns, and the purple ones can be warp tiles, they can be monoliths, I believe. They can also be towers, I think. These are all guesses because I'm not a Dragon Quest expert. You'll just have to take my word for it. But yeah. So, what we've learned so far, we are seeking out the royalty of the other kingdoms, because I guess they just don't want us to challenge Hargon alone. So everybody is recommending that we go out and find some comrades to help us on our journey. So we are gonna do just that. We've been hearing a lot about the Prince of Cannock, so we're gonna investigate him first. Doing good damage, to be fair. Now this right here, no different from Dragon Quest 1, this is what we call swamp tiles. If you, not that. 1 second while I heal up. If you walk over them, the screen will flash and you will take 1 HP of damage. So be wary of that. It's not always the biggest deal, but it can be, kind of tricky to deal with. So just be mindful of it. These Drackies are a bit harder. Drackies are effectively the same as they were in the original Dragon Quest, except they seem to be doing a good amount of damage. I mean, I know I'm level 2, but 4 every hit, that's pretty brutal. This is why we bought the medicinal herbs, so we're not stressing too much over situations like this, and we can get right back into the fight. Dang, even 6 didn't kill him right away. It's pretty impressive. Now, they do give more experience, 12, and from that we got a level up, so increased to our strength by 5, that's a lot. HP, 9 gold, good. So before I introduce this town, I will just quickly go over our stats. So on the right side of this board, from top down we have strength. Strength is basically the base of your final attack, or your final attack power, which is 22. Your strength is basically your personal inherent sort of, it's just what you have as your person. Now that number cannot change, of course, without leveling up. But what you can change is your attack by equipping weapons that have a higher attack stat on them. So your strength cannot change, but you can increase your attack by buying better weapons. Now your agility basically serves the purpose of seeing if you will go before or after a certain enemy. I believe it also determines your success rate when you run away from enemies or flee from them. I think if you are much slower than the enemy, then you have a much lower chance of successfully fleeing. But if you are way faster, then I think it's higher. But it might also have to do with your level, so don't quote me on that. Your resilience is basically your strength, except it's for defense. So your resilience is just your inherent base defense stat. Of course, you can increase your defense stat on the bottom by equipping stuff like shields and armor that have greater defense stats. Your HP is just your health. It's, you find it in every RPG. Your MP, same thing. You should know this by now. And that's pretty much it. You can also see your experience at the very bottom, just as an added bonus. So, good stuff, good stuff. Now let's see. This humble settlement is the village of Leftwine. 'Tis a traveler's resting place of some renown. Awesome. So we have made it to Leftwine. We heard that this is a place that, it's a good place to stop if you're making a journey. You're, it's a good pit stop. So, as convenient as that is, it's also a great place to stop the video. So we will end the first episode here. If you enjoyed the video, you can like. If you did not, you can dislike and put a comment telling me how I can improve. With all that said, I'm gonna let the outro do its thing, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Peace out.